Okay, welcome back to Sports Weekly MN. I'm Duff, and with me is my brother and co-host Joe. Joe, how are you guys doing?
Doing well, Duff. How about you?
We're okay. Very busy, but we're doing okay. Yeah,
Hey,
thanks.
busy. Busy's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes,
exhausting maybe.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Hey, I like that Twins cap.
Thanks. I bring it back to the old Met Stadium there on my background.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know if you can kind of see.
And I'm still stuck in the North Shore.
Yeah, the worst places to be.
Okay, we have a lot to cover this week. Um, where to start? Well, I think we should maybe start with the upcoming game. And there's a big one coming up for Minnesota United. You can see this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
So
night.
tomorrow night. It was supposed to be tonight,
Right.
but then it was switched to tomorrow just for, well, we know why. And anyway, 7:30 p.m. I think that's Central Time. And yeah, it should be pretty good. So uh, the game is in Kansas City, so it's against Sporting Kansas City, and this is the fifth matchup. So they've already played four times this year. There was one, the first one was a 0-0 tie, and then Sporting Kansas City won twice, and Minnesota United won once. And and there's a reason that Sporting Kansas City is the favored to win here. I mean, Minnesota United basically has to play the game of the season here to win, but that's the way it should be in the playoffs. We talked about last week how the Minnesota United beat the Colorado Rapids 3-0. That was back now a couple weeks ago. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to be quite the match tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to watching. I should be able to watch most of it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And I don't know, did you want to add anything?
Nope. Just go United.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I think there's maybe a 30% chance they win this game. So it's definitely higher than most times you're playing the number one seed. I don't think Kansas City is unbeatable. I think they can be beat in this game. And let's go United. Let's go out there, play a good game, play some good defense.
Hmm. And the United is actually a better team than they were in their previous meetings because they have a couple players back
Hmm.
that they had out. So
They handily won that last game.
yeah, and so I don't know, like that. Yeah, they are not favored to win, but it's
No,
totally
or they
reasonable
should be. They
to
shouldn't be.
no, but it's totally reasonable to think that they could win.
Sure.
It's not like a Twins playoff game where you just like you can use pen to mark in that loss, and um, God,
Yep.
gee, boy, oh boy.
I still can't believe Baldelli pulled Maeda after 5 innings. What are you doing?
Well, the poll
Unreal.
ads are paying him a lot of money to make those decisions, Joe. If you get my drift.
I understood.
Yeah. Uh, so this is pretty exciting. Looking forward to it. And if we switch sports, there's some other games coming up
Yes, there are. This is
that are going
exciting
to be
news
looking
too.
forward to.
So preseason Timberwolves coming up here. We got 3 games. The schedule's right there. Saturday at 8 o'clock. These are probably Eastern games. Yep, Eastern time. Because as I say, both Grizzlies and Timberwolves and Mavericks and Timberwolves are all in the Central time zone. So take it back an hour. So these are Eastern time. So 7 o'clock local time, 7 o'clock local time, and 7:30. So I hope they're on TV. I'd like to see them. Right now, I can't even get FSN because I do YouTube TV, and they don't have a deal with FSN. I'm thinking that'll be changed probably by the time the new season rolls out. It better be changed by the time the new season rolls out. That's all I can say about that because I'd like to watch Timberwolves and hockey this winter. Now, I did see some news that was tweeted out by the NBA that something like 47 players have tested positive out of 500 and some. So they're going to have to figure this out. Otherwise, there's going to be some postponing of games coming up if you continue to have numbers like that. That's like 10%.
So wait, they're not going back into a bubble?
Well, I don't know if you can do a bubble for the whole season. Can you?
I don't know that they need to go for the whole season. I mean, like, vaccines are here, and we know that sports stars are going to be on the close to the top of that list, right? And other rich people. I mean, this is America, man.
That's true. That's true. No, I don't foresee them being able to pull off a bubble for 3 to 4 months. I don't.
Yeah, they'd have to have bubble cities and bubble hotels. And
yeah, it's just not going to happen.
And they don't have the logistics down. And the first game here is like 10 days from now.
And they have all the teams. They didn't have all the teams in the bubble before either.
Ah, yes, of course. You're right. Yep. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But it's exciting to see some games on tap. It'll be fun to watch the team put together. The Timberwolves, they're probably looking at about 30, 35 wins this year, which has improved from last year.
What was the record?
I don't think they're going to be a playoff team by any means, but they're going to turn a corner and hopefully win a few more games. Barring a major injury, which is always possible, knock on wood, which we hope doesn't occur because we always know in sports that does and will occur at some point.
Especially Minnesota sports.
Yeah. Minnesota running backs.
Let's see. And all the good Twins players, Kirby Puckett, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, the list goes on and on.
Right. Well, and most people get injured in their career. I mean, even Trout got injured this year. So it happens.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. It's just bound to happen, especially as you get older. You just don't bounce back or recover as quickly. And I don't know, your hamstring gets pulled or you tear an ACL or, it's just very common.
Right.
I saw a stat out too that the Timberwolves are supposed to have the 7th ranked offense in the league.
Really?
Yeah, for scoring points, and like the 28th defense, which actually the number that surprised me more was the 28 defense. I figured it'd be 30.
Who's worse? Who could possibly be worse? Oh boy.
I don't know on that one. But I suppose, you add in Ricky Rubio, Josh Okogie, those are good defensive players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Culver, good defensive player. So it's not like we don't have any good defensive players, the Wolves.
And I think, so there was a little Wolves news this week. They've now officially signed, I think, all of the people they drafted.
Yeah.
And Ricky Rubio is now official. And Beasley's, he was extended, right? And he's official now too, I think.
They 4 years, $60 million.
Yeah, they took care of all that paperwork this week.
Though I think it's 3 years, 45, and then there's a team option for the 4th year, so it makes it even better.
That's great. Yep. Good for the team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Lots of games to hopefully look forward to coming up. Soccer, basketball. It's amazing. Sports are starting back up. Or they're going to try anyway.
Yeah, the Gophers, they're getting hammered again. They're not playing Northwestern this week. That's right. Yep. 47 positives cases between players and staff, and actually more staff than players. Which I suppose it makes sense. I suppose the staff is probably together longer in enclosed areas.
Right. Yep. And they probably are seeing all the people on the team, so they have more opportunity.
Plus family members.
That's right.
And imagine a bunch of players are just with the players.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. So we can go to some football.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is most fun to show, but
well, the Vikings won.
You know what, Joe? So,
or did the Carolina Panthers lose?
The Carolina Panthers lost. I was thinking this week. So one of the games that Will, he's in grade 2. One of the games that he plays in gym class, and they do call it gym here. Sorry to say. One of the games they play in gym class is called toilet tag. Yep. And that got me thinking about this game a lot. It was like just a race for the bottom to see, who could play like worse, honestly. Like, it's just, oh, I mean, well, first of all, we got to show these awesome highlights from
I mean, Bridgewater stunk in this game, and I thought Kirk Cousins played well.
Oh, I don't think so. Consider this play.
Okay,
So
let's
that was
forget
the first one.
Let's forget the two. Hey, by the way, I thought that celebration was illegal.
Throwing the ball between the uprights?
Yeah, I thought that was illegal. I didn't think they could do that.
I don't know. Well, it was against the Vikings, so you can pretty much do anything. And there's the second one.
Yeah, and by the way, same guy returned the fumble. Now, the second play was much more impressive by him because he actually, I think he caused the fumble too.
It was a strip.
The first one, he was just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Dalvin faking the injury there.
Yeah, I called that at the time too. I'm like, oh, he's not really that hurt.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody was pointing out too that he and Xavier Rhodes went to the same school.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like, I think it was like South Florida something. And so then they were making jokes like that's how they teach it down there. You got to fake a major injury every game.
Oh, well, Xavier, he's always hurt.
Yeah.
Magically out there 2 plays later. He's pathetic.
And then
good player.
We can fast forward to the worst fair catch in history.
Chad Beebe, what are you doing here?
It was before this, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Chad Beebe touchdown.
No, it was like 4 minutes left in the game or something.
Yeah.
Or 2 minutes left. I think it was like 2 something left in the game. 2:30, something like that. Yeah, so we got to go back. He muffed the punt anyway. Yeah, it's before this too, Duff.
Yeah. Oh, here we are. Oh, gotta go back a little bit. Okay.
Now, if he catches this ball, though, we're deep into territory, and I don't think Kirk Cousins does anything. However, you have to catch this ball because you can't expect the Vikings to stop him here. You have to think Carolina is going to score a touchdown here, which they don't.
Amazingly,
that's just because Bridgewater missed the wide open guy in the end zone.
Yeah.
On third down.
Just what a back and forth, bizarre, just honestly a bad.
Well, I thought Teddy played horrible. I don't think he played well. If Teddy plays decent, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
How more wide open can you be? Go back a little bit. There's no one within 5 or 6 yards, Stuff. And he misses him. And it wasn't even close. Watch this now.
So here it is again.
Oh, this is the running play before.
Oh, yep. Second down. So here we are, third down.
Yeah.
And we're looking over here.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which one.
I think it's the behind guy.
The second guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he comes up and he just kind of sits there, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, no, it was the first guy. Number 12.
Well, look.
Look at that.
5 yards.
The closest person is the ref. Look at that. And Teddy just missed by a mile.
Yeah, it was.
All he has to do is toss it to him and game over right there. So Chad Beebe was bailed out because he muffed the punt.
Yep.
The Vikings did what they had to do. They put him in a situation and then.
Yep. And then they go up by.
And then Carolina just forgets to play defense. Like, what are you doing? Look, they didn't get any pressure on Kirk there. They didn't go anywhere near Jefferson. Like, why would you not be double teaming Jefferson right now?
I don't know. The ending.
Look at they're playing prevent here. 3 guys, they're only rushing 3.
Yeah.
Prevent just prevents you from winning. You're not even up like 15. You're only up 6. What are you playing prevent for? Go after Kirk. Don't you know if you put pressure on Kirk, he's going to fumble it or he's going to screw up?
Right.
If you give him time, he's going to break you down. This is Kirk Cousins.
That's right.
He doesn't miss those wide open throws with his feet under him. He also turns the ball over if you get pressure on him.
That's correct. Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Teddy's throw was way off. The BB throw was right on.
And then
because there was no pressure in Cousins' face. There's plenty of time. He didn't feel pressure.
And the hilarious
Kirk Cousins
thing
does fine.
after they tie it, all of us were just saying, oh, well, he's going to miss the extra point, or
Gonna get blocked is what I thought.
they'll decide to go for two, or just something very Vikings,
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured it'd be blocked or a miffed thing. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a drop kick just for fun.
So I thought there were some decent takeaways from this game. I thought, number one, Teddy Bridgewater did not play well. I thought he played horrifically, to be honest with you. I thought it was one of his worst games that I'd actually ever seen him play. With the arm, I thought with his feet, he looked fine. And then number two, the Vikings really missed Adam Thielen. Chad Beebe is no Adam Thielen.
Yeah, that's for sure. And but the good news is he'll be back this week. So he cleared the protocol or got enough negative tests or something like that. So
he must have tested positive.
Yeah, somebody was saying that on Twitter too. Like that was their, somebody sitting in their basement. It was it only makes sense if you tested positive.
It had to have tested positive because he went on Tuesday. It's not like he went on or was exposed Wednesday or Friday or Saturday. He went on the list on Tuesday and he didn't play. Well, everyone else has played for the Vikings that hasn't been positive that went on the list on Tuesday. Like you're off by Saturday and you're playing, or off Sunday and you're playing. He must have tested positive.
Yeah, or maybe it was inconclusive or something.
Well, which would mean that can he play Sunday then?
I read today that he can play Sunday. Yep.
But I bet he's not out of protocol yet. I bet he can't practice yet.
That's right. Yep.
Because it'd be 10 days from the positive test, right?
Or you have to test negative twice, like 2
days
in a row or something.
That's right. But I think if you test positive, I think it's at least 10 days.
Oh, really? Okay.
Per state rules. State quarantine rules is 10 days. So I'd assume they would have to follow that. And then do the 2 negative tests to clear. So that would be what? You probably can't practice till like Thursday or Friday. Tomorrow or Friday, I would imagine.
Yep, I think so.
Depending on when he first tested positive.
Yep.
Which could have been Monday.
You're right. Yep, probably Monday and Tuesday.
Probably actually isn't Tuesday because I don't think that they're allowed to do NFL. Actually, I don't think they're allowed to do NFL activities now Monday or Tuesday.
Really?
But typically it's been except play games. Play games.
Yeah.
Typically it's always just been Tuesday is the off day.
Right. So with this win this week, the Vikings now have a whopping 30% chance of making the playoffs. And next up is Jacksonville. And
I see they have not been eliminated from the number 1 seed yet, though.
That is true. They have a 1% chance of winning the division.
Look at the NFC. It's terrible. I mean, clearly the Super Bowl winner is going to be from the AFC. Steelers or the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, probably the Chiefs. Yep.
Yeah. The Steelers 11-0.
That's right. Yep.
But they looked bad against the Ravens today. Ooh, they did not look good.
The
Ravens team that was decimated, but sometimes it's harder. You don't have any tape on those guys.
That's right. Yep. If they win this coming week, if the Vikings win this coming week versus Jacksonville,
which they should,
but it doesn't really help them. Their probability of making the playoffs goes up to 34% because they're
pretty much expected to win this one.
That's right. Yep. If they lose, it drops to 10%.
And then they have the Bucks though, and that'll be a much tougher game.
That's right. Yep.
Though you can neutralize Brady if he doesn't have the ball.
Okay. I mean,
so go Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep feeding him and taking time off the clock. Or
you can neutralize Brady if you have Bruce Arians. Why? What are you doing, Bruce Arians? Why are you taking a guy that's 43, knows how to play football like nobody else, and trying to put him into your system? Dude, play Brady's game.
Right.
Short passes, medium range patches. Stop trying to make Brady throw the ball deep. The guy's 43 years old.
43 years old, yeah.
Okay? He can't throw it deep anymore. It's okay. It's okay. Stop making him throw the ball deep.
Speaking of other interesting games that happened this past week, this goes along with your theory that Green Bay can get away with anything.
We've
got this lovely just
face
beauty.
mask 1. Oh, face mask 2.
Yeah. So
91 does a really nice job there running though. Look at that.
Jump, jump, jump.
Yeah, we cheated.
So if we zoom ahead here, so now we get the replay. So this is the replay, and we're going to see 2 face masks on Trubisky here. So here's the first.
Oh, see, for the other teams, that's illegal. For Green Bay, that's encouraged.
That's right. Yep. And whoops, somehow my video
It just jumped.
Yeah. So there's the first one, and here's the second one.
And somehow Trubisky gets out of it. And there's another one.
That's amazing. Yeah, and then number 91 here chunks it down the field. And it's great. Even the announcers at the game were like, there was face masking there, but refs don't call it because this is Green Bay.
Which again, that should be reviewable.
Right.
All scoring plays are reviewed. That play was reviewed. The Packers cheated. They cheated.
Well, the refs cheated on their behalf, or however we want to say it.
The Packers cheated.
Yeah.
The refs should be able to call that. Clearly,
Yep.
It should have been 2 penalties.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Yep.
That should be reviewed. Just like the crazy going back to that Vikings game where Kirk Cousins was headbutted. The guy that headbutted him got fined like almost $5,000 or some goofy number.
Yeah.
And then Harrison Smith's play that was flagged, Harrison Smith was not fined. So the league actually found out and fined the guy that played illegally, even though he gave the Bears a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then the play that Harrison Smith was flagged for was not fined because it was a legal tackle.
But yeah, that's how it goes when there are certain teams in this league who get a lot of help from the refs because they bring in the money, and the NFL
it's egregious stuff.
Is concerned about the money.
Well, and remember, the Packers don't have any true owners. Their true owners are the league.
Yep, that's right. Yep. And so it's not surprising. Is it disappointing? Yes. Is it not surprising? No, because in modern America we expect corruption.
Well, remember the bar play where he knocked out Aaron Rodgers and put him on the injured list for the rest of the year is now illegal.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's called the Aaron Rodgers play. Fall on and broke his collarbone, can't do it anymore. Before you could do it outside the pocket, now you can't do it.
Oh, I see. That figures.
It's just ridiculous. They don't even try to hide it, Duff.
No.
They don't even say, "Oh, yeah, we missed one." I mean, they're gonna miss one every once in a while. They're humans. You can't miss those.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, if you can miss them, then they should be reviewable.
That's right.
Why aren't they reviewable?
Well,
I'm not saying
there's
every hold.
I don't understand this fiction. In all leagues, it's like the refs are omnipotent, and never make mistakes and can never ever say they made a mistake. This is the most bizarre thing.
Right.
Everybody in any job occasionally makes mistakes, and you just say, "Oops, I missed that one."
Right. I own up. You own up to it. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And what drives me even nuts about is when people say, "Oh, don't talk about the refs. They should have won anyway. There were so many other plays." Are you kidding me? These 2 plays, the Kirk Cousins play where he's headbutted is cheating, and they grabbed his face mask. The play where Aaron Rodgers, the tough tackle is holding in the end zone, it should be a safety for the other team.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This play right here should not be a touchdown for the Packers. That's a huge play. You can't tell me that it didn't have a huge effect in this game.
That's right. It should be a face masking penalty.
It should be a first down for the other team, but it's a touchdown for the Packers.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they want. And, it's just like pro wrestling. It's all scripted, pretty much. Although this is kind of like it's almost like a reality show where it's partially scripted and partially not scripted.
Are you talking about the presidency? Confuse me again there, Duff.
Yeah, exactly. Man. Don't even get me started.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh boy. Yeah.
All right. So we got a cheerleader Uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
story
yeah.
tonight.
Yes.
Tell me about these cheerleaders.
Okay. So, did you know? So we're talking this just sounds so weird, but we're talking about college cheerleaders, okay?
Hmm.
Um like clicking so many boxes here. Uh, but let me see if I can find this. Uh, so college cheerleaders um, are not considered by the NCAA to be athletes. So they don't fall under the NCAA rules
Hmm.
regarding like sponsorships and making money and all this stuff. So it turns out there was a wonderful article, I think it was in the New York Times, about how NFL cheerleader, or sorry, not NFL, college cheerleaders are making bank. A lot of them are like,
Well, and I don't think
like
they're on scholarships either, right?
no, so some of them are. So,
Oh,
oh, wait a minute. Maybe they're not on scholarships, but they do have access to a lot of the athletic help that student athletes get.
yeah. And I would
Um,
assume they would get some per diem money if they're traveling and stuff.
that's right. And so, uh, shoot, I can't find the article now. Um, man, I forgot about that one.
That's okay.
Well, here we
The
are.
gist of it was they're allowed to make money, so they're getting sponsors, they're making their own little YouTube channels,
Mhm.
and uh, they're sponsoring products.
That's right. Might have YouTube or Instagram or something like that. So
Hmm.
here it says that some universities, for this is for cheerleaders. So as they're recruited out of high school, they're almost recruited like athletes. So they're offered meal plans, scholarships, but they're not, full scholarships. They might be some small scholarships.
Hmm.
They're offered access to the athletic housing, tutoring services, various waivers of fees and registration, things like this. So basically, they have access to all of the advantages that the student athletes have,
Hmm.
which is fine. Um, and yet they're just awesome, just not considered athletes by the NCAA, and so they can just like make money on
That's
product
good. They should be
placements.
able to.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful model for like what you could envision for like the other athletes, college athletes who fall under this terrible NCAA rules regarding all of this stuff. And the interesting thing here is if you talk about motivations, uh, the universities are not opposed to it. They don't really
Hmm.
care one way or another. Um, the Now one group of people that you think might be opposed to it are the coaches, but the coaches just make it clear, like, so this is, we're talking about the cheerleaders coaches. They
Hmm.
just make it clear, like, you can't miss practice or anything like that for a sponsorship thing, whatever.
Makes
Uh,
sense.
and so, like, makes sense. And everybody just sort of follows those rules, and it's no big deal. The cheerleaders are not harmed, like, in any way. That was like the original, um, that was the original excuse for the implementation of the NCAA rule against this, right? Was, oh, people
Hmm.
will take advantage of, university students and whatever. Like, no, nobody's being taken advantage of here. Like, these women are
It's the opposite.
making a lot of money. They are, really exploiting an opportunity and taking advantage of an opportunity. And furthermore, the companies love this because, they're university cheerleaders who are really good at like putting products in front of like a highly desired demographic, which is, people in their teens and 20s.
Hmm. Absolutely. They sell a lot of
Hard to
products.
market to, and so they're placing these products in front of that audience, and it's a hard audience to get. So the companies love it, the coaches don't have a problem with it, the students benefit from it, the universities benefit from it. The only people who don't benefit
NCAA.
is the NCAA, and that's why the rule exists. Anyway, it's just it's an awesome little niche that sort of opens your eyes to like what really would happen if college and university student athletes were just treated as humans,
Hmm.
and not barred from
Making
benefiting.
making some money.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
And I mean, we've all read the horror stories about certain student athletes who, who, were have no money and they can't even afford, to eat food. And then somebody bought them a meal and then they got everything revoked, and these ridiculous stories about punitive NCAA actions against really vulnerable students. And in any case, this was just a great story. I encourage our 3 to 5 listeners to go look it up. You probably Google New York Times cheerleader making big bucks, something like that.
If Trevor Lawrence right now goes down with a career-altering injury, he never got to profit off such an amazing career.
That's right.
It's so dumb. And Clemson would have made 40-50 million off him.
That's right.
Now I'm sure Trevor Lawrence has some sort of insurance policy against something like that. He might get a couple $1 million, but which is nothing to sneeze at, but it's not like he can't go make his NFL contract and, not only that is money, but also do well and hawk product and like you can when you're a pro. I think it's going to change eventually. It's just going to take a lot of time. Yeah.
Well, and, so the NCAA, they're kind of on my naughty list permanently because they just exploit people. Another similar group of people who are always on the naughty list is the Minnesota State High School League. I still don't know what they do other than make rules and take taxpayer money. And anyway, so the just released today was a story that the Minnesota State High School League is proposing to restart sports on December 21st. Now, what in the world, why December 21st? I'm sorry, that's a couple days before the Christmas break or winter break or whatever we call it now.
Is that the month pause? Is that over then on the 21st?
I think it's 2 days after the 1 month.
That's probably what they're looking at, that weekend before
thing.
And nobody's traveling or going anywhere. So,
well, some people might, but hopefully not. Hopefully nobody.
Yeah, I guess the airport was pretty crazy over Thanksgiving.
Jeez. Anyway, so that's what the Minnesota State High School League thinks. That's what they're recommending. Let's restart everything on December 21st and go full throttle in the spring and put on state tournaments.
I don't really have a problem with the high school league doing that. I mean, what other position are they going to take per se? But I hope there's people in that stand up and say, hey, that doesn't really make sense, or can we get a testing policy in place?
That's right.
Where, okay, if you test negative, then you can play, kind of like the college and the pros. If they can do something like that, and then I'm okay with it. But we can't be spreading this just because we want sports. Have some empathy for people that are immunocompromised, that are older, that you just never know. I mean, sure, the odds are good you're going to be fine. You might get a sniffle, but you just don't know. You don't know that for sure, and we have no idea what it does down the road.
That's right. Yep.
So just have some empathy for people like that, and realize that it's not always about the sports. Now, I don't
quite understand it. I understand why professional sports comes back, because there's a lot of people who have a lot of money on the line, billions of dollars, right? I kind of understand why colleges and universities are trying to do it too. They want to keep people going, keep students, their careers going, and they also make some money, but they're not talking billions, we're talking millions. But at the high school level, we're talking thousands of dollars. Is it really worth this? I don't know. Maybe they're I don't know.
I don't know. I see both sides. With the student athletes missing out on their seasons. I think it stinks. It's just too bad.
I mean, it's a
But it's a
pandemic,
pandemic. We haven't had this in our
sorry,
lifetime, something like this. You know what I mean?
right?
And let's be honest, children and students and young people are much more adaptable and much easier to go along with than adults. You know, they always say, "Oh, the harm to children because they're hybrid learning or distance learning." There might be some with distance learning with social issues, but come on,
Well, I think
kids adapt so much easier than parents. It's about the parents.
I think that's true for the most part until you get to like certain groups of people, let's say a single parent household where the parent has to go to work and like the young kids are being left home alone, those kinds of horrible situations. Is that everybody? No. Is that most people? No. But it is a small number of people and it can really harm them, right? But yeah, in terms of like social mental things, I think you're right that like kids will adapt far better than
I also
crotchety old
don't
people.
think that there's many people that fall into that stuff. They go to somebody else's home, and there might be 3 or 4 families learning together, and somebody's watching them.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I do think that's kind of the general
Right, but
vision
again, that's
that people
adults
have.
speaking. That's not children adapting.
That's right. Yep.
Now, for distance learning, I saw issues with children. Absolutely. But we see that in a break, right? Over winter break,
Yep.
over just coming off Thanksgiving break for our students that we know are in households that are not good home situations. They're crying as they leave before break. They're acting out as the week before break. They come back. Their behaviors are completely different than they were when they were having school all the time. It's because their home situations really stink.
Right.
But as an educator, there's nothing I can do about that. Where I can't take them into my home.
Right.
I can do things at school. Or the school can do things at school, but there's not a whole lot. Our hands are tied a lot of times.
Right.
And I can't make that situation better. And I also can't make the pandemic better. And there's no good solution.
Right.
And it's just going to take a little more time here.
Yeah.
Next year, we'll be back to normal for the most part. For when it comes to sports. And this last year in the spring and this year for most of the year, I'm sorry.
Yeah. At least the one thing about sports, like, yeah, I know sports matters to a lot of people. You know what else matters to a lot of people?
Their life.
Their life. And you know what else matters to a smaller number of people, but they're people really passionate about it, and that is music and live music. Like,
oh yeah,
everything that my family does is just shut down completely. And we're not going bonkers on Twitter and yelling at people like, bring back choir, bring back music. We just say, yeah, that's terrible. And so we do what we can at home, and then we'll be back next year. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's just like, your faith lives. How do you,
right.
We haven't been to an indoor church service since March, and it's ridiculous. And it's going to make an impact on my children. But how do I expose these older people that are there?
That's right. Yep.
I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So I guess I guess maybe I'll be judged on that one day, but this is what I went with.
We were at church today for the first time since June, and we recorded ourselves to lighting the Christmas Eve candle.
Oh, there you go.
The Christ candle. So
cool.
We recorded ourselves. We did the reading. Emily did the leader, and then Will and I did the response.
That's good.
And So
we did VBS outside in August. We did a day of Sunday school outside, but we're in Minnesota. It's wintertime. It's not much outdoors. And then we've done some online services, but then it's easy to fall out of that too. It just is. It's too bad. But when it's over, we'll be back.
That's right. You know who else is back, Joe,
Tell me.
who else is back? Well, on Twitter the other day,
Baldelli.
Rocco
Rocco.
Baldelli, he released a video basically saying thank you to the fans.
I like his hat stuff.
He was not wearing a Twins hat.
Yeah.
He's wearing an STP hat. And yes, Rocco, we got you. Thank you. And so this video, and there was another one by Dustin Morse, who's the Twins communication director. He also released a YouTube video of like him playing catch with his son, and he was wearing a St. Paul Saints shirt. Well, anyway, it is finally.
Was it officialized today?
Official.
Because I didn't see it. Okay, good.
Yeah, so this is in Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal.
Wichita will be AA.
That's right. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Now, so we'll talk about two things here. One is that the St. Paul Saints now officially are the Twins AAA affiliate, CHS Field. There were a couple of things that was holding it back, I think, from being official. They needed some exemption because they didn't have enough seats. They had like 8,000 and the minimum is 10,000. But they sell out every game, so there's not really a worry there. And then the other thing I think was the fee. So every time a club moves up or down the tier of like A, AA, AAA, whatever, they either pay money in to go up or they get money in return for going down from the league. Anyway, so the Saints, I think the Twins paid that fee. It was like $25 million on behalf of the Saints, because the Saints are a well-run, profitable business, and they're like, why would we're already making a ton of money. Like, if you want to be affiliated with, it's like, it's just the opposite of like most clubs. Most clubs would be ecstatic and they'd pay anything to be affiliated with a major league club. And the Saints are here saying, we don't actually want this, but like, if you make it worth our while, we'll do it.
Yeah, because they're in the independent league.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but now I guess it's official. The St. Paul Saints are the AAA affiliate.
Excellent. So are they can't be in the independent league then, can they?
No, they're not.
So which league are they in?
Whatever. That's a good question.
Yeah, I haven't heard yet. Like, I haven't gotten that answered yet. And maybe they don't know yet. It's possible.
That's true, because the reorganization of the minor leagues is still ongoing. So, now here's the thing. So the other bit of news was that the Wichita will be the AA affiliate of the Twins. And
they're the Wind Surge.
Wind Surge.
Wind Surge. That's cool.
Now they're not happy about it because I think they paid the city, the taxpayers of Wichita paid like $75 million to build the stadium in Wichita, and with the hopes of becoming a AAA team. Okay. So this is like a blow to them. They had high hopes on becoming AAA, and now they're AA.
And that's bizarre to me. I'd rather be AA. Because a lot of top prospects skip AAA. Also, they don't spend a lot of time at AAA. Now, AAA overall is a better league than AA because you get a lot of lifers. A lot of minor league lifers might get a cup of coffee in the major leagues. Doesn't mean they're not good ball players, right?
Right.
But your AA teams see your prospects the longest. Your top end prospects, they're in AA the longest. They're in AA usually longer than they are in AAA. And so you're going to get your studs coming through Wichita.
But, AAA teams oftentimes get those major leaguers who are rehabbing, so yeah, there's that aspect of it too.
Sure.
That they'll get, I'm sure every once in a while, Roger
Rios will come down, make 2 rehab starts or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Any top-notch, player may end up at the AAA club for a while
and they're all going to go to the Saints now, AAA club, because it's right down the road.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works out great.
20-minute drive. So
yeah. For those players who are like, we'll call them quadruple A players or players having a rehab stint, it really works out well for them.
Yeah, I don't know, Wichita. That's just rushing to judgment, in my opinion. Personally, I'd rather be AA. Other than, like the Saints, it just makes sense. If you're in the same town as your major league club, then yeah, you want to be AAA. But your studs play the longest in AA, and a lot of them make a quick leap to the majors.
There's also the minor league team up in Fargo, like is it Red Hawks or something like that?
Yep.
I wonder if they're still going to exist and what league they would be in, and if they're affiliated with any major league club. I don't know. We'll have to look it up for next week.
I think they're just independent. Aren't they independent? The Northern League or something like that? I don't know.
Be. Yep. So there's lots of other baseball news today. Unfortunately for the Twins, but great news for Trevor May. He signed a 2-year deal with New York Mets. Reportedly about $15 million.
Yeah, this seems ridiculous that the Twins didn't sign him for this money.
Yeah.
I'd pay $15 million for Trevor May 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the best or second best reliever on the Twins staff this year and last year. Him and Tyler Duffy, and Tyler Duffy actually they extended, right?
Yeah, they extended him. I think it was just like $1 million or 2.2 for a year or two, something like that. Yeah, but Taylor Rogers still has a great amount of talent, and maybe your highest level of talent, but Tyler Duffy and Trevor May were your two best relievers last year
by far. Yep.
Yeah.
Twins and Tyler Duffy agreed Wednesday on a 1-year, $2.2 million contract. Great. So that's for 2021.
Yeah, I don't know. Great. I would have been tempted to get him to a 3-year deal, but maybe they wanted him to show a little bit more. I mean, they still have an option next year, I think. I don't think Tyler Duffy's a free agent next year like Trevor May was.
That is correct.
Trevor May is was like 31. Isn't
That's
Duffy
right.
like 25, 26, something like that?
Let's look it up. Yeah,
27
because Trevor May had been
he's 29.
And then he went down.
Maybe he is out of options. He's 29 after this year. I saw it on the last page.
Oh.
But go down to his career. That'll tell us.
Yep.
Let's see. What are we at? Go back up a little. Kind of messed with my eyes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so this is his last year. I would have bought him out. I would have tried to get him to an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's still time, but it doesn't mean they could just rip this contract up and extend him.
But Falvey and Levine typically don't like multi-year contracts for relievers.
I know, but it's ridiculous. We got a guy like Tyler Duffy.
Yeah.
Signed him to a multi-year deal. Look, they just lost Trevor May.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, they gave Romo $5 million last year. Who would you rather pay $5 million to?
Yeah, well, the economics might be a little bit different this year, but I don't understand. They could have bought him out like for a second year or something, but maybe he wanted more. But whatever.
Anyway, Trevor May is a Met. I'm happy for him. Here's the deal, though. They also sounds like they released Rosario, or didn't release him per se, but didn't tender him a contract, which makes him a free agent. And he would have been paid.
No. It doesn't make him a free agent.
It does, because at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock here, about an hour ago, they had to tender him or not.
Well, they didn't tender him, but I think then he goes through waivers.
Yeah, and he cleared waivers.
Oh, he did clear waivers. Okay.
Cleared waivers. So he is a free agent as of 7 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
They still had an option to get him before 7 o'clock.
That's right.
But now that didn't happen. So he's a free agent, which I'm fine with. And I think they're saving some money here. They're saving money with Trevor May. What are they going to do with that money? That's what I want to know. If it goes into Pollard's pocket, I'm not too happy about that. Now, not that if they had to pay Rosario $10 million, if you had to pay May $8 million, that's $18 million. Okay, maybe you bring in a couple guys for $2 million. So if $16 million of that goes into Pollard's pocket, I'm not happy. If they turn around and they spend
that money, and they could give that money to Trevor Bauer.
Right. So if they turn around and spend 15 to 18 million of that, then okay, let's roll with it. I'll reserve my judgment on that. But
yeah, people always say, "Oh, it's team friendly." It's like, no, it's owner friendly. Like the thing that would be team friendly is spending a bunch of money on better players to improve the quality of the team.
No,
So
with
they've actually,
teams.
that phrase is exactly upside down from what it should be.
Oh no, not when it comes to the Packers. Refs are team friendly.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So let's see. Oh, there was
So
there
anyway,
was
the
one more.
Rosario move. I mean, you got Kuleroff, you got Larnack, you got Rooker, you got some guys coming up here that can fill that position. For the May move, that might be a little more tough to fill.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think Brad Hand is still out there. Cleveland released him.
Yeah, I'm okay. Take a waiver on him.
Yeah, why not? Like, there's actually several good relievers who are still available.
Oh, absolutely. Every year.
Yep. So I don't.
Not to mention you could make a trade.
I really wanted to see Trevor May back in the Twins, and the Pohlads actually pay money to retain a guy who had been in this organization for a very long time, who'd had his ups and downs, and now finally found his niche, and he's gone. You know, it's the same old story.
Same old.
Sorry, but I'm happy for Trevor May. You know, he has quite a big Twitter following. His Twitter handle is I am Trevor May, and he posts a lot about video games and pitching and stuff like that. And he's just a great story. Like, yet another guy who did not he was not a good starting pitcher, and then turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful reliever.
Well, because you could bring that 93 or 94 mile per hour fastball up to 98.
That's right.
And overpower some guys.
That's right.
And locate
a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm. I think the Twins are going to go after Cole Hamels. If he's healthy, I think the Twins have their eye on Cole Hamels.
Okay.
1 year deal, back end rotation starter. That's kind of where he's at right now. I think they're going to go after somebody like that. Might go after a John Lester. They want a lefty, I think.
I think so too. And I think that's why they passed or were allowed themselves to be outbid for a lot of the top-notch pitchers who've already, gone off the board here and been picked up. We don't need to go through the whole list, but I would say, 5 out of the top 10 starting pitchers, and I would probably 4 out of the top 5 starting pitchers, with the exception of Trevor Bauer, who's
the best one.
Who's the best. So he's still out there. But yeah, all the starting pitchers are gone, but I think they were all right-handed, right?
I'd be surprised if Bauer
signed.
Tanaka, I think, is still available. I'd be surprised, but he's a righty too.
Is he?
Yeah. I'd be surprised if Bauer signs before February, though. This seems like that he's that kind of guy.
He just is getting the bidding war up and getting more clicks on his YouTube channel.
He likes the attention.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
That's fine. As long as he inks that deal with the Minnesota Twins, I don't care. And let me put it this way. I would really like him to be on the Twins. Next, I would like him to sign for any team other than the Yankees. Okay, so that's the priorities here.
I was going to say the Phillies, but I don't think their owner wants to spend money. I don't count the Mets out. They got a rich owner.
That's true. Steve Cohen, hedge fund gajillionaire, who now is richer than the top 5 richest other 5 owners, right?
Yeah, I wonder
owners
why
2 through 4, you add them up, do not equal owner 1.
I wonder why like Bezos or somebody doesn't try to buy a ball club.
He could buy all the ball clubs.
Yeah, why not? Here's some Amazon stock. Here you go. Well, we got some trivia tonight.
Well, hold on. We got one more story here. Actually, I think 2 more stories. So first, this is more signings of players, but this is just a great story. So Caleb Thielbar, I mean, we've talked about him in the past, but he was on the Twins, and then he totally quit baseball, and he was like a coach at Augustana in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and now he's back. He pitched in 2020 for the Twins, did okay, and they've signed him to a 1-year, $650,000, basically league minimum contract. Now he's a left-handed reliever.
Mm-hmm. It's probably about minimum what he could get for his service time. It's probably probably about what it is.
Yep. And honestly, like I've seen like one or two like interviews or things. He's just loving the fact that he's back in baseball.
Mhm.
Like, just was totally not really expected. And I think he's just eating it up. And like, I think the money is kind of secondary for him. So yeah, anyway, he, actually played for the Saints at one point in time. So, and then I actually one last football thing.
He's got a wicked curveball.
Yeah.
Just drops.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty 12-6.
The other thing, sort of in contract news, is the Twins. Let me say their special teams has special needs, and
The Vikings.
Oh yeah, the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Vikings special teams are in trouble. Anyway, so they've waived Austin Cutting, who is a long snapper. Former.
Now their goal was
pick.
to sign him to their practice squad, though.
That's right, and
they don't want to give up on the guy.
That's right. I don't think that's actually happened yet.
No, he's got to clear waivers first.
Yep. Anyway, they made some other moves sort of at the bottom of the barrel. Some linebackers here. You can read it. Hardy Nickerson and Marcus Sales. They're now gone from the practice squad. So they kind of like cleared some openings.
I think they wanted to sign Austin in Sales' place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway.
Basically Spielman has been drafting these guys at the end of the round. This guy was drafted at the last 7th round pick the Vikings had, taking a flyer on a long snapper, or taking a flyer on a kicker or a punter. And, you got nine 7th round draft picks. I guess I'm not opposed to something like that.
Yeah, I actually don't have a trivia this week.
Oh, okay.
I got too busy. Didn't have time to find anything that would be
okay.
worthwhile. So, well, anyway, this was a good chat. It's fun to have basically all the major sports now doing something or other. Well, I think we still don't know about hockey, but
I think they're thinking after the new year.
Okay,
we'll see. Remember to plant trees, guys. When you can, plant trees.
Nice.
And I don't know, just remember to be safe out there, everyone. Do your best. Treat people with kindness. So it's going to be a good week. You got anything else, Duff?
That's it.
All right. Well, remember to be kind, grow your own food, and John 3:16.